Hey guys, it's Jodi here with Honeysuckle Hill Bee-stro, and I have Paul Sinders, who is commissioner here in Clay County. Paul has served as commissioner for the last 20 years. He's running for election on the ballot this May in the primary. And so Paul, thanks for coming to the table and helping me cook something today.
Well, I appreciate the opportunity of being here, and I'm sure what we cook today will be outstanding.
Okay. I'm sure it will be too, because I know what it is, and it's one of my favorites. So Paul, most people don't really pay that much attention to local politics.
Mm-hmm.
You know, they're living their life. Mm-hmm. Local politics, it really doesn't have the bandwidth mm-hmm. that the national does mm-hmm. or even state does. So a lot of people don't even know what a commissioner does mm-hmm. except maybe roads. So mm-hmm. can you tell what a commissioner actually does?
Yes, if you would take a look at the brochure that's put out by the Indiana County Commissioners, there's about 30 or 35 different responsibilities listed there. Now, not all of those apply to Clay County. Okay. But we have a lot of responsibilities here. We work very closely with the people. One of the things that we do is we sign all contracts in the county. Okay. We are in charge of all of the buildings in the county, such as the Clay County Justice Center, the courthouse, extension office, the health department, and highway department. And now I might say something that a lot of people think that we have the responsibility of hiring all the employees in the courthouse and the jail and so on. No, we do not. The only people that we hire in the county are the custodians for the Justice Center, the custodians for the courthouse, and then of course we employ all of the highway workers. Okay. But yeah, we have so many different responsibilities, and you are correct. Most people think the only thing we take care of are the roads, but that really is a major responsibility, but yet it's not one of the things that takes a great deal of our time. But we have so many other things that we deal with, working with people individually and groups and so on. So yes, it is a very time-consuming job, and we're very busy, but that's part of it. And I might mention something else people don't know. All of your elected offices, except for coroner mm-hmm. and commissioner and county council, are full-time. And commissioner is basically considered half-time. But I can tell you that many weeks we put in 35, 40 hours. If there's a job to do, somebody's got to do it. It's our responsibility, and we do it. We don't mm-hmm. watch the clock, keep track of our time or anything like that, because if there's a job, it's to be done, and we are elected by the people in Clay County, and we represent them to the best of our ability. Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. So how many counties, because some counties do have full-time commissioners, yes. About how many have full-time commissioners?
To my knowledge, 3 in the state of Indiana. Okay. The closest one would be Vigo County.
Okay. And some counties like Marion and I think Lake, they do not have commissioners. Is that correct?
That is correct.
Because they have municipalities that are so yes. large that yes. they yes. just kind of combine the yes. two. So in state statute, it says that it calls county commissioners the county executive.
That is correct.
So kind of the same as what a president would be or mm-hmm. the governor. So do you guys enforce the laws that the county, I mean, how is it different? I mean, who does the legislative work in a county and who does the executive work?
Okay, we are called the executive of the county. Now, we do not enforce laws as such. That's not our responsibility, but okay. What we do in a public meeting is many times we will pass a resolution or an ordinance. And the ordinance basically is the same as a law. Okay. And so depending on what that ordinance is, yes, that is our responsibility to make sure that the people in the county are aware of the ordinance and who it pertains to, and then we have to make sure that it is passed.
Actually, you guys are the legislative body then too.
Yes, yes.
So county level government's really a hybrid. Mm-hmm. And it's not the same differentiations as what the national mm-hmm. level government or the state level government. So you guys are a little bit of a hybrid. One of the things that
we say, and it's true, your county elected people, we think, are the most important people in the state of Indiana or any state.
I agree. I feel like local government is the most important because they actually have more impact on everyday life, yes. You know, yes. for the citizens. Yes. So commissioners appoint a lot of boards. How
Yes.
many different boards do you guys have to appoint?
We appoint, this past year was a down year because we only appointed about 15 people to 1-year appointments. And then we, many times we'll appoint another 20, 25 to boards ranging from 2 years, 3 years, and 4 years.
Okay.
But one of the reasons why we were down this year, we did not have any appointments to the Clay County Community Corrections Board.
Okay.
We appointed those a couple years ago, and there's about 6 to 8 appointments there, at least that we make, but those were not up for this year.
About how many appointments do you have total that you have to make in a 4-year time period?
Basically, around 30 to 32.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. So 15 last year. That was about
No,
half. Then.
we had 15 1-year appointments.
Oh,
Total appointments
oh.
last year was probably 20, 22. Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
So are all of these appointments kind of mandated from the state, or is this something that you guys decide at a local level what boards need appointments?
Many of these are mandated by the state. What we have done, we have, with our county attorney, we have gone through the statutes and make sure that our appointments are legal, they're right, because I have to say a few years ago, particularly when I came into office, everything was not being appointed as they should. And I'm not blaming anybody. They thought they were doing what was right, but nobody had really looked at the statutes or the latest codes, because Indiana General Assembly, it changes those.
Right,
and
right.
to my knowledge, every appointment that we make now is following state code and rules and regulations.
Right.
And now, some of the appointments we make has nothing to do with state code, such as our highway supervisor, EMA director, and some of those. Those are local appointments that have nothing to do with state code.
Okay. Okay. So
And let me see also, 2 or 3 of these, which we don't particularly like, but it's state code and we follow that. We have 2 or 3 areas that there has to be so many Democrats and so many Republicans.
Right.
And we would rather just say, appoint the best people, but that is legal, that's required, and so we follow that very, very carefully and very closely.
right. Well, actually, Mitch Daniels, whenever he was governor, because he has to follow that same so many of
Yes.
one party, and it just says one party, it doesn't say Democrat, Republican. He actually reached out to libertarians.
Oh, he did.
And got their list of libertarians and appointed libertarians, and some of them are still in their positions. So it is. I mean, that is a criteria, and just the nature of things today, I realize it's hard to find maybe some Democrats to serve on some of these boards. So I didn't know, do you guys reach out to like the Democrat chair and precinct committee people to try to help you find and Republicans? And because I would think it would be hard to meet those criteria.
Basically, we try to think of good people, and when we contact them, if we think about a possibility of appointing them, we ask them if they're Democrat or Republican.
Okay.
And so basically that's what we go with, and sometimes then we check the registration in the election office to confirm that.
Yeah, because that's public record
Yes, it
to
is.
look up
Yes, it
people's
is.
vote
Sure is.
records.
Yes,
So that's
absolutely.
easy to find.
Yes.
So so with that, another question that I have with a county executive, are you guys kind of over the other elected officials too? Because whenever you hear the term executive, you think that's the top dog. So are you guys over like the prosecutor's office or surveyor's office or auditor's office? Are you guys over those other elected offices?
A lot of people think that we are in charge of all the offices in the county and the courthouse, and that is not correct.
Okay.
We have no responsibility for overseeing the prosecutor or the treasurer or the auditor or anybody else. They are elected, they select their own individuals, they run their office. And so even though we're the county executive, we have no control over other elected officials. They're elected on their own. They report to the citizens, and elected as we all are, but no, we do not have any responsibility.
So kind of like the governor is not over the Secretary of State or
That's
the
correct.
Attorney
That
General.
is correct.
They're
Yes.
their own body.
That is correct.
So, okay.
Yes.
So some county offices have term limits, but commissioners don't. And there's others that don't. So can you explain the difference why some offices have term limits and others don't? What's the thinking behind that at the state level?
I really don't know what the reasoning was many years ago, because all of this was approved by the Indiana General Assembly many years ago. For example, the assessor does not have term limits.
Right.
The treasurer does. The auditor does. County council does not. Commissioner does not. Coroner does. Now, why the coroner would have a term limit, I do not know. But that was because of the wisdom and the thinking of the Indiana General Assembly many years ago.
Yeah.
And most of that has not changed and probably will not change.
Let's do some rapid fire questions, okay? But I don't talk very fast, so it's not going to be rapid, okay? What's the first hard thing you remember doing growing up?
Boy, you're going back several years. Well, probably one of the toughest things for me was when I was in high school. I was elected class president as a freshman. What did I know about that? Absolutely nothing.
The same as every other freshman in your class.
So it scared me to death. But evidently I didn't do too bad of a job, because I was elected class president for 3 additional years.
Oh, well, okay.
And I think that actually sort of got me started on what I'm doing today. Thinking back, many people do not remember this organization, although it is going somewhat here in Clay County now. I was the president and director of the Clay City Youth for Christ.
Okay.
When I was in high school. And looking back at that, we always had a Youth for Christ rally on a monthly basis. And we would bring in speakers, we would show films, we'd have hay rides. And one of probably the things I look back at now today that scares me to death, I organized a trip using Turner Bus to go to Chicago to hear Billy Graham.
Oh, wow.
And of course, we had a lot of adults involved, but I organized all of that, and it was very successful. We went to Chicago, Skid Row, walked down the streets in Chicago, which today I'm sure we would never do.
Right.
But it was a very educational trip for many of us.
Okay, so this is part of the reason why rapid fire questions are not very rapid, because people will say things and it will make me want to ask a question. Do you feel like we've kind of, because that was great and you learned a lot, and so did everybody else that went. I feel like in today's world, we're so afraid of doing anything that's outside of a bubble. Because somebody could get hurt or whatever.
That's correct.
That we're stifling creativity and growth. So do you see that too, and is that a concern?
Oh, absolutely, because right or wrong, good or bad, people are so happy today.
Yeah.
And if you say the wrong thing or do the wrong thing, then somebody wants to take you to court. And so people are very careful and cautious today on what they do, and because society, the world has changed. And some things I think have changed to the better, but there's some things that are very negative, and you bring one of those up that I think is very negative and is not good for Clay County, the state of Indiana, or America.
I agree. Okay, so next rapid fire. Who was your first hero? And you can't say your parents, because people tend to say that, you know. So who was your first hero of somebody that you looked up to?
First hero, boy, I don't know. You're going back. Some of my heroes, not at the very beginning, but quite frankly, one was Ronald Reagan. I really liked Ronald Reagan and his quotes and his speeches that he gave.
Did you like him prior to him being president, or when did you
Well,
start
let me
liking
tell you something
him?
interesting. Very interesting, okay? Back in the good old days, we did not have a television. And so my dad's brothers and sisters purchased a television for my grandparents.
Oh, nice.
And so one night a week, we would go down to Grandma's and Grandpa's house and watch television. Well, the show that we always ended up watching was called, I think, Death Valley Days.
Okay.
And that the star was Ronald Reagan.
Really? Okay.
And then, of course, he then involved and became governor and then eventually president.
So what's the best book that you've ever read?
The Bible.
Okay, you can't use that one because everybody should say that. So you got to give me another one.
I can't really tell you what my next choice would be.
Okay.
Really, honestly, I've read, of course, a lot of books in college and dealing with philosophy and other things, and quite frankly, many of the books I've read I do not agree with.
What's your favorite news source?
News source? Well, basically television.
Yeah.
Television.
What do you prefer listening to? Music, an audiobook, or a podcast?
Well, maybe this tells you my age, but I like country music and some of the old timers. I'll mention one or two here that probably most people have never heard of. I really like Roy Acuff and Johnny Cash.
Yeah.
And we used to go to the Grand Ole Opry in Nashville, Tennessee. And one of the gals that would come out on stage was Minnie Pearl.
Yep. What's the perfect Paul Sinders day? If you could wake up and not have anything on your agenda, what would you do?
Turn the TV on and watch a good basketball game.
Okay. So you and Sherry, how many years have you been married?
We have been married 59.
59.
And we'll be married 60 in May.
Okay. So you're going to have a big party?
I hope not.
You should. Not very many people get to make it to 60, so that's a great accomplishment.
Yeah, we've been very, very fortunate. 5 kids and 13 grandkids and 2 great grandkids. And so we're very, very fortunate. I have to admit that. God has blessed us. It's been good.
How did you guys meet?
How did we meet? Well, she was a friend of one of my friends, and they broke up. And I don't know why. Back in the good old days, you went to different towns and you would drive around.
Yeah.
I would always go to Brazil and drive Main Street. Tom's drive-in on the west side, and there was a drive-in on the east side, and we would drive Main Street, and she would come down to Clay City and drive around, and I'm not for sure exactly when we first talked or how we met. I really don't know. I don't know.
Tell me what it is that we're going to be making in the kitchen.
Cherry Fluff.
Okay.
And that is something I really like because it's got cherries in it and it's got marshmallows.
Okay.
Those are 2 of my favorite. And so,
well, join us in the kitchen, guys. Okay, so Paul, we are going to make cherry fluff, and Sherry gave us the recipe for this. So I'm glad that she picked this one. Or did you pick or did Sherry actually pick?
She actually picked it.
Okay, so this is pretty easy. We're just assembling. We don't have to bake. We don't have to cook or anything. So
and that's
Paul,
one of the things I like about
I know.
this. Yes. It's
especially
quick.
since you don't cook.
Quick. Yes,
so,
that is right. Yes.
So, okay, I'm going to give you an easy task.
Okay.
You get to open the can. Unlucky for you, it's a flip-top can.
Oh, good.
And that's
yes.
the pineapple, and we're going to drain that. So you can just hold it over the sink with the colander, and we're going to let it do its thing. And I will give you this, too, to kind of help work it out a little bit. So while Paul's doing that, doing the crushed pineapple, I'm going to do the cherry pie filling. And Sherry's off to the side, so I'm going to kind of do a phone a friend here, and I'm going to ask Sherry a question. Sherry, have you ever tried another filling other than the cherry?
No, I haven't, but I thought about it.
Okay. You know what? I had the same thought yesterday. So in case you couldn't hear that, Sherry said no, she hasn't, but she had thought about doing strawberry. So you might want to try that.
Cherry.
Okay, so she's cooking for Paul, so that's why it's the cherry. So all right, Paul. Oops, I spilled some marshmallows.
Well, that
if you
has a
feel
lot
like
of
that,
juice
that's
in
good.
it.
I know, and you might just like kind of squish it a little bit because we don't
Okay.
want it to be too runny.
Yeah, we need to get that out of there.
That will just screw everything up. And I gave you the easy can to open, but I'm going to open the sweetened condensed milk. Sweetened condensed milk, I did a little bit of a history on sweetened condensed milk, and it was the Borden, Borden Milk
yes.
Company. It was him. You're probably good. Let's throw that in, Paul.
Put that in there. Okay.
Yep. And he actually created it right before the Civil War, and it was during the Civil War that made sweetened condensed milk popular because the soldiers used it. So the government would, the U.S. government, not the Confederate government, would use it as a ration.
You know, you and Sherry might want to get together sometime.
Okay.
Because, you know, what do you think she buys anytime she goes to an auction?
Old cookbooks.
Cookbooks.
Yep.
We've got cookbooks, and then we have more cookbooks. And she probably has some that she could share with you.
I love looking at old cookbooks, especially the old church cookbooks.
Oh, yeah, she's got tons and tons of those.
So we added an 8-ounce container of Cool Whip. Now, do you ever help Sherry make this?
No, I do not.
Okay, all right. So you're learning what all goes in this too.
She is the expert, so she doesn't need my help, okay? She doesn't want me to mess it up, okay?
So, okay, I am not a great measurer. So far, we haven't had to measure anything. Marshmallows, I did the math, though. It's supposed to be 3 cups of these mini marshmallows. This is 6 cups in here, so I'm going to kind of eyeball it. And the reason why I'm not a good measurer, Paul, is we don't have a dishwasher on the place.
Oh, you don't?
No. So we wash everything by hand. So if I had to get a measuring cup out, then I would have to wash it. And
right.
so, you know, might as well save time. And so we're going to chop these up. These are supposedly chopped pecans, but they don't look very choppy to me.
No,
So, Lynn, you probably can't see that. But anyway, not that you need to see. But anyway, we're going to chop these a little bit more. And this little thing, it holds a half a cup. So that will save us some time. And so I'm going to let you do the chopping, because all you got to do on this is just hit that, and that will go down. And while you do that, I'm going to throw away some of our trash. And if you're mad at anybody, you can just pretend that their face, right? Just pretend that you're hitting their face.
Yeah. Well, what do you think?
That's looking pretty good. So we can throw that in.
Okay. Oh yeah, that's good.
Yeah,
that is good.
That
Yeah,
looks
I did a good job.
Now you did. See, look. Okay, so now Sherry knows that you can do stuff in the kitchen.
Don't tell her.
She's watching. And then I think it was just a half a cup. Yep, just half a cup of pecans. Okay, so we're gonna just kind of fold this together. And actually, Paul, if I could use that spatula, that red spatula that you were using, that is going to be better for me to be able to fold this in. Since we used all the same ingredients in this, because this is a little thin. This is one for getting stuff out of a can. So, all right, I'll give that to you to put in the sink. Okay, and we're gonna just fold this in because you don't want to take the air out of your whipped cream or your Cool Whip. So, and
oh, that's looking better. Yes.
Yeah. Is it looking like what you're used to eating?
Yes.
And and then we're gonna chill this too. Now, when Paul came in, he was like, "Man, that's a big bowl," and I was like, "It is," but I was afraid I was gonna crowd it. So definitely, if you were taking this someplace, I would put it in a prettier bowl, but. And we have my friend Lynn on the camera, so we're gonna have to divide this by 4 since we got Sherry, you, me, and Lynn. So, because Lynn loves cherries too.
Oh, she does?
She likes to. She likes it whenever I make the Black Forest cake.
Yeah, I love cherry ice cream. Oh, that's good as well.
With chocolate, do you like chocolate on your cherry ice cream?
No, I do not. Chocolate is one thing I don't really care for.
I wish that was the same. So we are going to throw this in the refrigerator and let it chill for a little bit. Okay, so Paul, the cherry fluff has been chilling, so I think it's time for us to try it.
I'm sure it will be great.
And I have 4 bowls out because you have Sherry here with you, and I have Lynn with me. And so we're going to share the wealth here, okay? Is that enough?
Oh, yeah, that's plenty.
Now, Sherry, do you need as big of a helping as what Paul has? Okay, all right. I'll just give her 1 scooper then. All right, so now we get to try it.
Okay.
Tell me if it tastes as good as Sherry's, but I'm going to tell you, as a wife myself, mine does not taste as good as Sherry's, okay? That's no matter, even if it does, it doesn't. Got that?
No. Maybe it tastes better because he made it for the first time.
Maybe. It could be chilled a little bit longer, but it tastes good. Perfect.
I love this.
Perfect.
I love this. Very good.
Good job.
Very
Thanks,
good.
Paul. Thanks for
Very
cooking with
good.
me.
Love it.
Appreciate it.